So I'm gonna do some gaming. Still recovering a little bit from last night, but you know, good night, all things considered. It was nice having her here in my nest. Got some shopping to do today, or this evening, this afternoon, whatever. But Van's in the shop for a little while.
Strange when I recall the time when I first saw it.
And we
Right.
need to go and re-outfit
Silence.
our weapons.
With the dawn of that last great day.
They've taken a lot of degradation damage.
All of us here thank you for everything you've done. For us, for the wastes. We pulled together and got you this. It's the best we could do. Please take it. With our thanks.
Nice.
No.
Holiday offering it was intended to be. Mercury Theater's own radio.
Always take some random new fruit.
Sheet and jumping out of a bush and saying boo. Starting out, we couldn't go all your lineage, steal all your garden games. By tomorrow night, so we did the next thing. We annihilated the world before your very ears and...
Hey, don't mind the smoke. It's... Unless it's a steaming pile.
Wonder who the best
What do you need?
Oh, hold on. My apologies. Now you can hear me better. I'll take it. Thanks, Moira.
Good hunting. See ya.
warm and muddled by an with infinite complaint.
Every fucking thing fucking hurts. Oh.
Serene in the assurance of their dominion.
Who's got the best repair in Fallout 3? Besides me.
Which by chance or design, man has inherited out of the dark mystery of time and space. Yet across an immense, mysterious
getting some food delivered. Hey, quick pro tip. If you are hungry and you shop regularly at Wawa and you do keep up with your points, save those points because you need some delivery. Go to the Wawa app, get delivery, and use those points for free food. I got free hoagie, free mac and cheese, and dollar coffee today. My total order was $7. I can't even be mad at that. I blew all my points, no doubt. But I have nearly, well, the price is cut in motherfucking half. I got a free sandwich and a free fucking free side. I'm happy, and I'm getting fresh hot coffee, which is always a fucking bonus.
We take you now to the Merging Room in the Hotel Park Plaza in downtown New York, where you will be entertained by the music of Raymond and his office.
I am hungry. Oh yeah, we were looking up who has the best repair skill besides me.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. From the Meridian Room in the Park Plaza Hotel in New York City, we bring you the music of Raymond
Let's find out. It was right at the top. There's what you can get. Luck Harith is the best option. Find him outside.
Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt our program of dance music to bring you a special bulletin from the
Yeah. So let's go to Canterbury Commons real quick. What you looking at? Looking at the? You were looking at the birds. Yeah.
The spectroscope indicates the gas to be hydrogen and moving toward the Earth at enormous velocity. Professor Pearson of the Observatory at Princeton confirms Farrell's observation and describes the phenomenon.
Let's go see what's going on. Oh my. It's dark.
We now return you to the music of Ramon Raquello, playing for you in the Meridian Room of the Park Plaza Hotel, situated in downtown New York.
All right. So. Hello.
Do not interfere with security operations.
Okay.
And now a tune that never loses faith. The ever-popular Start.
Lucky!
Raymond Raquello.
We need to talk.
Looking to trade? I'll...
Yes! Ooh, sweet repair! Yes! You gotta love it.
Please, enjoy my selection of high-quality problem solvers.
So... I can use that. And... That's about all you got that's useful. Schematics, shish kebab. I'll take it. Yeah, I'm always out of 44 caliber rounds. Thank you.
A pleasure doing
I'll
business
take
with
that
you.
from you.
Keep you.
Time, Mr. Cook.
Alright, so let's go ahead and repair.
I'm here on your roof a moment, Mr. Cook. A red disc swimming in the blue sea. Transverse stripes across the disc. Quite distinct now because Mars happens to be at the point nearest the Earth.
Sniper rifles.
We call it.
In your opinion, what do these transverse stripes signify, President?
Not canals, I can assure you, Mr. Cook. Although that's a popular conjecture of those who imagine Mars to be inhabited. From a scientific viewpoint, the stripes are merely the result of atmospheric.
Alright, now we can go back to where we were at Fort Bannister.
Scientists, that living intelligence as we know it does not exist on Mars.
There's a chance it gets to 1,000 to 1.
And
If we can find
how do
Fort
you account for
Bannister.
these gas eruptions occurring on the surface of the planet at regular intervals?
Cook, I
There we go.
cannot account for it.
By the way, Professor, for the benefit of our listeners, how far is Mars from the Earth?
Approximately 40 million miles.
Well, that seems a safe enough distance. Just a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Someone has just handed Professor Pearson a message. While he reads it, let me remind you that we are speaking to you from the observatory in Princeton, New Jersey, where we are interviewing the world famous astronomer Professor Pearson. One moment, please. Professor Pearson has passed me a message which he has just received. Professor, may I read the message to the listening audience? Ladies and gentlemen, I read you a wire addressed to Professor Pearson from Dr. Gray, of the Natural History Museum, New York. 9:15 p.m.
Hardly, Mr. Cook. Probably a meteorite of unusual size. Arrival at this particular time is merely a coincidence. However, we will conduct the search as soon as daylight permits.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, for the past 10 minutes, we've been speaking to you from the observatory of Princeton, bringing you a special interview with Professor Pearson, close to the start. This is Charles Phillips speaking. We are returning you now to our New York studio.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Intercontinental Radio News, Toronto, Canada. Professor Morris of Macmillan University reports observing a total of 3 explosions on the planet Mars between the hours of 24 and 5:07 p.m. This confirms
Next time, put up a fight!
believed to be a meteorite fell on a farm in the neighborhood of Grover's Mill, New Jersey, 22 miles from
No,
the noise of the impact was heard far more than the distance.
Go right in the fucking kisser. That was cool.
Meantime, the Hotel Martinet in Brooklyn, where Bobby Millett and his orchestra are offering a program of dance music.
Hello! Aha!
Wow.
Put up a fight!
New Jersey.
Always remember to grab the Nikola Tesla and you. And the microfusion cells.
What would you say, Professor Pearson? What would you say is the diameter of this?
About 30 yards.
About 30 yards. The metal on the sheet is, well, I've never seen anything like it. Color is sort of yellowish white. Curious spectators now
Seriously? With a knife? Well, he did. Come on, man. God damn.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, there's something I haven't mentioned in all this excitement, but it's becoming more distinct.
It's the only thing with companions is they get in the way.
Do you hear it? Curious humming sound that seems to come from inside the object. I'll move the microphone nearer. Now, we're not
Lots of
more than
goodies in this
25
one.
feet away. Can you hear it now? Professor Pearson,
They like their stealth boys.
can you tell us the meaning of that scraping noise inside the thing?
Possibly the unequal cooling of a surface.
Okay, this is the bathroom.
Metal casing definitely extraterrestrial. Not found on this Earth. Friction with the Earth's atmosphere usually tears holes in the meteorite. This thing is smooth. See if it's okay.
Nothing happening. Ladies and gentlemen, it's terrific. This end of the thing is beginning to break off. Top is beginning to rotate like a screw in the thing must be hollow. Something wriggling out of the shadow like a gray snake. Now it's another one.
Come on, bro. This shit's gonna be rather annoying.
We are bringing you an eyewitness account of what's happening on the Wilmot Farm, Grover. assistance came in from Grover's Mill by telephone. Just one moment, please. At least 40 people, including 6 dead troopers, lie dead.
Oh shit.
In the
They
field
about to be
east of
here.
the village of
That's
Grover's
fucking
Mill.
great.
Their bodies burned and destroyed beyond all possible recognition.
Is there
The next voice you hear will be that of Brigadier General Montgomery Smith, commander of the state militia at Trenton, New Jersey.
in the water?
I have been requested by the governor of New Jersey to place the counties of Mercer and Middlesex as far west as Princeton and east to Jamesburg under martial law. No one will be permitted to enter this area except by special pass issued by state or military authorities. 4 companies of state militia are proceeding from Trenton to Grover's Mill and will aid in the evacuation of homes within the range of military operations. Thank you.
You have just been listening to General Montgomery Smith, commanding the state militia at Trenton. In the meantime, further details of the catastrophe at Grover's Mill are coming in. The strange creatures, after unleashing their deadly assault, fall back in their pit and made no attempt to prevent the efforts of the
Although that is a banger of a fucking
combined fire departments of Mercer County are fighting the flames.
of a video. It's 10 years old, and
Unable to establish any contact with our mobile unit at Grover's Mill, but we hope to be able to return you there at the earliest possible moment. In the meantime, we take you to... Just one moment, please. Ladies and gentlemen, I have just been informed that we have finally established communication with an eyewitness of the tragedy. Professor Pearson has been located at a farmhouse near Grover's Mill, where he has established an emergency observation post. As a scientist, he will give you his explanation of the calamity. The next voice you hear will be that of Professor Pearson, brought to you by direct wire. Professor Pearson.
I'm here. At your back.
Okay, Princeton, a rocket cylinder, Grover's Mill. I can give you no authoritative information, either their nature, their origin, or their purposes here on Earth. Of their destructive instrument, I might venture some conjectural explanation. For want of a better term, I shall refer to the mysterious weapon as the heat ray. Also evident that these creatures have scientific knowledge far in advance of our own. It's my guess that in some way they are able to generate an intense heat in a chamber practically absolute non-conductivity. This intense heat they project with a parallel beam against any object they choose by means of a polished parabolic mirror of unknown composition. Much as the mirror of a lighthouse projects a beam of light. That is my conjecture of the origin of the heat ray.
so there's probably not anything in there.
Thank you, Professor Pearson. Now here's another bulletin from Washington, D.C. The office of the director of the National Red Cross reports that Red Cross emergency workers have been assigned to the headquarters of the state militia, stationed outside of Grover's Mill, New Jersey. Here's a bulletin from the state
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's anything in there.
The fire at Grover's Mill is now under control. Scouts report all fire
Alrighty.
signs by preparing from the mountain facility.
So you go through here. Take out this guy. Seems like he's got a Chinese assault rifle. Yes, he does. That's beautiful.
We take you now to the field headquarters of the state militia near Grover's Mill, New Jersey.
Oh, don't need the
This is Captain Lansing of the Signal Corps. attached to
don't need it.
the
Set forward
Now
there.
engaged in military
But
operations in the vicinity of Grover's Mill. Situation
oh,
arising
we are
from the
way
reported presence of certain individuals
over.
of unidentified nature is now under complete control.
Oh, I know why.
Lies in a pit directly below our position, surrounded on all sides.
I mean,
by
that's not it,
independent
but
civilians. Without heavy field pieces, but adequately armed with rifles and machine guns. All cause for alarm, such cause ever existed, is now entirely unjustified. Things, whatever they are, do not even venture to poke their heads above the pit. See their hiding place plainly in the glare of the searchlight here. With all their reported resources, these creatures can scarcely stand up against heavy machine gun fire. Anyway, it's an interesting outing for the group. I can make out their cotton uniforms structure on the edge of the Wilmington Mine. 7,000 armed men closing in on an old metal building.
hurt.
They feel so good when you stretch them. With something moving. Solid metal, kind of a shield-like affair rising up out of the cylinder, going higher and higher. But it's standing on legs, actually rearing up on a sort of metal framework. Now it's reaching above the trees and the searchlights are on it. Hold on.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have a grave announcement to make. Incredible as it may seem, both the observations of science and the evidence of our eyes lead to the inescapable assumption that those strange beings who landed in the Jersey farmlands tonight are the vanguard of an invading army from the planet Mars. The battle which took place tonight at Grover's Mills has ended one of the most startling defeats ever suffered by an army in Martian times. 2,000 men armed with rifles and machine guns pitted against the single fighting machine of the invaders from Mars.
Let's
120 known survivors. The rest strewn over the battle area from Grover's Mills to Plainsboro, crushed and
Need some
trampled to
hot
death
sauce.
under the metal feet of the monster, or burned to cinders by its people. The monster is now in control of the middle section of New Jersey and has effectively cut the state to its center. Communication lines down from Pennsylvania.
present
moment.
Railroad tracks are torn and service from New York to Philadelphia discontinued except routing some of the trains through Allerton and Phoenixville. Highways to the north, south, and west are clogged with frantic human traffic. Police and army reserves are unable to control the mad flight. By morning, the fugitives will have swung Philadelphia, Camden, and Trenton. It is estimated to twice their normal population.
What's up, brother?
Throughout New Jersey and eastern Pennsylvania. At this time, we take you to Washington.
Yeah, that glitch sucks so bad, man. I'm glad it stopped.
Secretary of the Interior.
Citizens of the nation, I shall not try to conceal the gravity of the situation that confronts the country, nor the concern of your government in protecting the lives and property of it. However, I wish to impress upon you, private citizens and public officials, all of you, the urgent need of calm and resourceful action. Fortunately,
so fucking hungry.
this formidable enemy is still confined to a comparatively small area, and we may place our faith in the military forces to keep them there. In the meantime, placing our faith in God, we must continue the performance of our duties, each and every one of us, so that we may confront this destructive adversary with a nation united.
Wawa makes decent mac and cheese.
And consecrated to the preservation.
It's not
of
baked or
human
anything, but
supremacy
goddamn.
on this earth. I thank you.
You have just heard the Secretary of the Interior.
It's
speak
always
to
nice and
Washington.
cheesy.
The War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells, starring Orson Welles and the Mercury Theater on the air.
Bravo! I'm only going to be on here for a while. Van's in the shop getting an alignment,
I sat down
and
on paper.
he's
I'm obsessed.
probably going to get some lunch, so I'm going to be in for a bit. So I'm here. I am doing some streaming.
Hiding in this empty house near Grover's Mill. Small island of daylight cut off by the black smoke of the rest of the world. All that happened before the arrival of these monstrous creatures in the world now seems part of another life. Life that has no continuity with the present. Furtive existence of the lonely derelict who pencils these words on the back of some astronomical notes bearing the signature of Richard Pearson.
At some point, I got to get into Atom Fall as well.
Try to connect them with a professor who lives in Princeton.
I had every intention to play it
20th.
when I first started,
Telescope, an orange flash of light on a distant planet.
or when it first dropped.
My wife, my colleagues, my students, my books.
Fallout 3 took precedent. Oh, believe you me,
Where are they?
this has not been lost on me. It's one of the reasons I got the hat in the first place, because it reminded me of the NCR.
do days exist without calendars? This time passed.
I'm not about everything about the NCR. Like, there's definitely some bureaucratic issues.
Writing down my daily
but,
life, I tell myself I shall preserve human history between the
I'll take them any day over the fucking Legion.
meant to record the movement of the stars. Right, and to live on the heat. Find molded bread in the kitchen.
Yeah, I can
Orange
put this.
Spoiled to swallow.
Mr. Shot, they got me a new thermos.
Watch the wood. Time to time I catch sight of a Martian above the black smoke.
I'm here, at your back.
Smoke still holds the house in its black coil, but thanks to hissing sound, and suddenly I
Let's see
a
if I
Martian
can transfer
wandered on
this
its
without
machine,
making an entire mess.
spraying the air with a jet of steam as it dissipates the smoke. I watch in a corner as his huge metal legs nearly brush against the house. Exhausted by terror, I fall asleep. Morning. Morning. Sun streams from the window. Black cloud of gas is lifted and scorched meadows north of the black snowstorm. I adventure from the house and make my way
Wait.
to the road and traffic. In their wrecked car, baggage overturned, a blackened skeleton. Push on north.
It's a regular travel thermos, you know, like, so it doesn't have the spout on it like this one, but it does come with a really nice cup, and it's magnetic.
One of their machines
So,
shows the top
like,
freezer.
yeah, that shit is
Ready to
fucking
swing
dope.
up the flat head.
Thank you, Mr. Shante. I appreciate that quite a bit.
Come to a chestnut.
Yeah, I want to play Adam. Yeah. We will get down to that.
Fill my pocket. 2 days I wandered
But,
in vague northerly direction through a
We've got to finish this project, and then we've got to finish Oblivion, because that deserves its own attention.
Stare at him and wonder. He stares back at me. I believe at that moment the animal and I shared the same emotion. Joy of finding another living
At some point, I
being.
want to do Skyrim
Push
again.
on north. I find dead cows and
I
wrecked
just
fields
gotta work
beyond the
myself
charred
into the
ruins of
mood to
their
do that.
Silo. They stand guard over the wasteland like a lighthouse.
Good God, they didn't know fucking wrap this motherfucker very well.
The weathercock, the arrow points north.
It's like some like your
Next day I come
like
to
that
city.
friend that wraps you the that gets you the present, and they didn't wrap it at all. It just kind of.
sliced off its highest tars with a capricious sweep.
I mean, it does have the chicken strips in it, and that's an unwieldy fucking kind of sandwich.
I'm speaking from
We'll be on our way in a minute.
the roof of broadcasting building. I'm speaking from the roof of broadcasting building, New York City. Those who here are ringing
All that,
for people to evacuate the city. As
Talon Merc killing made me hungry.
estimated in the last 2 hours, 3 million people have moved out along the roads to the north. Hutchinson River Parkway is still kept open for motor traffic.
Be aware of our surroundings.
Boy bridges to Long Island hopelessly jammed. All communication with Jersey Shore closed 10 minutes ago. No more defenses. Our army is wiped out. Artillery, Air Force, everything wiped out. May be the last broadcast. We'll stay here to the end. People are holding service here below us in the cathedral. Now I look down the harbor, all manner of boats, overloaded with fleeing population pulling out from docks. Streets are all jammed, noise and crowds like New Year's Eve city. Wait a minute, the enemy is now in sight above the palisades. Five great machines. First one is crossing the river. I can see it from here, wading the Hudson like a man wading through a brook. A bullet in his hand as the Martian cylinders are eyes like a lion.
How come, Mr. Barlow?
West side. Now they're lifting their metal hat camp. This is the end now. Smoke drifting over the city. People in the streets here now. They're running toward the East River, thousands of them. Dropping in like rats. Now the smoke spreading faster. It reaches Times Square. People are trying to run away from it, but it's no use. They're falling like flies. Now there's smoke crossing 6th Avenue. 5th Avenue. 100 yards away.
Not much of a room to put behind a lock like that.
50 feet.
Oh. That's the bunker. Occam's razor. You're not taking me out like that. I know there's a lot of times I don't pay attention to my health or don't care about it, but you're not doing me that dirty.
Writing down my daily life, I tell myself I should preserve human history between the dark covers of this little book. Let's record the movement of the stars. Right and live. My total breath kitchen tomorrow. 12. Time to time I get excited about Martian above the black smoke.
So what the fuck does your key go to?
Smoke still holds the house in its black coil.
Ooh,
Thank you.
that's what it goes to. Not a lot of loot, but there was a nuka-cola quantum in there. No. There we go. Okay, that's a decent payday. Okay, I'm not mad. Kind of mad there's no fucking terminals down here. One way to handle it. Death incarnate, brother. The end of your line.
There's no food here. This is my country. All this end of town down the river. There's only food for one. Which way you going?
I don't know. I guess I'm looking. People.
What's that? You hear something just then?
They're birds.
Don't mind if I do. You were literally, you had a missile launcher on you and you're cowering? I mean, I know they told you that I usually aim for the rocket launchers first, but damn. still going? Did I get everything in here? Did I explore the entire commander's or the bunker?
We've got to live, keep free what we learn, see? Thought it all out, see?
With a rip.
All of
Well, a bug like that is what you get when you have a powerhouse on your side, like Fox. Sometimes you got to take the good with the bad. Oh, for fuck's sake.
yes, they will.
Oh, shit.
As you went in.
You a champ.
One quarrel about that.
You gotta make safe places for us to stay in. Hit all the books we need. Science books. That's where men like you come in, see? You raid museums. We'll even spy on the Martians. We have to learn before
I wish there were more people like you in the world. I want you to have this. I hope it helps keep you safe.
There was no. They didn't even try to make this sandwich all one thing. It's just. Alright.
Certainly.
That's your plan.
What did I get? Anyway.
we don't know well.
Not that it matters.
I think.
Where's Lucas Sims' house? Go on and grab that bobblehead.
Not to you. Fine, stranger.
Hey, friend.
How you doing, brother?
Well, after running with the artillerymen, I came at last to the Holland Tunnel, entered that silent tube. Anxious to know the fate of the great city on the other side of the Hudson. Cautiously, I came out of the tunnel and made my way up Canal Street. Reached 14th Street, and there again was black powder, several bodies, an evil, ominous smell from the grating from the cellars of some of the houses. I wandered up through the 30s and 40s. Stood alone on Times Square. Caught sight of a lean dog running down 7th Avenue with these dark brown.
I thought he had
pack of starving mongrels.
I thought he had a bobblehead.
Circle around me as though he feared I might prove
In the eye.
competitor. Walked up Broadway in the direction of that strange powder, that silent shop owners, displaying their mute wares
Hey,
on the
friend.
sidewalks. Past the Capitol Theater, silent.
I thought he had a bobblehead.
Past a shooting gallery.
Or did I already grab that bobblehead way the fuck in the beginning? Oh no, there it is.
I noticed models of 1939 motor cars in the showroom.
All right.
Oh, over the top of the General Motors building, I watched a flock of black birds circling in the sky. Hurried on. Suddenly I caught sight of the foot.
Thank you, Mr. Sims. You have a good day.
Gleaming in the late afternoon sun. Same idea. I rushed recklessly across Columbus Circle and into the park. I climbed a small hill above the pond at 16th Street. From there I could see standing in a silent row along the mall 19 of those great metal titans, their cowls empty, their steel arms hanging.
I hope things are going well for you today, sir.
Yes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more to go.
There before my eyes, dark, silent, favorite march of hungry birds, pecking and staring down, red with sweating. Dead bodies. Later, when their bodies were examined in laboratories, found that they were killed by the putrefaction and disease bacteria against which their systems were unprepared. Flames, after all, man, humblest thing was God. Upon the surface. Before the cylinder fell, there was general persuasion in all the space. No life existed beyond the petty surface of our minute sphere. Now we see further. Dim and wonderful vision I've conjured up in my mind of life.
Yeah, this is the largest concentration of
seedbed of the solar system throughout the inanimate
really places that like, yeah. So we're probably gonna do that.
Maybe the destruction of the Martians is only a reprieve for them and not to us. Future ordained for us. Strange enough seems to sit in my peaceful study, Princeton, writing down this last chapter of the record, begun at this farm broken hill. Strange to watch children playing in the street. Strange to see young people strolling on the green where the new spring grass yields the last black scars of Louisville. Strange to watch the sightseers enter the museum where the dissembled parts of a Martian machine are kept on public view. Strange when I recall a time when I first saw it. Bright, clean cups, hard, silent.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff right here in front. Mass Relay, Roosevelt Academy, Faded Pomp, Silver Lining, Drowned Devil, Mason-Dixon Salvage. So,
This is Orson Welles, ladies and gentlemen. Out of character to assure you that the War of the World has no further significance than as the holiday offering it was intended to be. Mercury Theater's own radio version of dressing up in a sheet and jumping out of a bush and saying boo. Starting now, we couldn't so fall your windows, your garden gate. We annihilate.
whee!
Terrible lesson we learned.
That was too easy.
That grinning, glowing, globular invader of your living room is an inhabitant of the pumpkin patch, that your doorbell rings and nobody's there. That was no Martian. It's Halloween.
Tonight, the Columbia Broadcasting System and its affiliated stations coast to coast has brought you The War of the World by H.G. Wells, the 17th in its weekly series of dramatic broadcasts featuring Orson Welles and the Mercury Theater on the air. Next week, we present the dramatization of three famous short stories. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System. The Broadcasting System and its affiliated stations present Orson Welles and the Mercury Theater on the air in The War of the World by H.G. Wells.
You need bigger.
This world is being watched closely by intelligences greater than man. Mortal souls.
Fucking hate these. Oh no no no! You're not taking me.
The master microscope might scrutinize creatures. Went to and fro the earth about their little affairs, serene in the assurance of their dominion over this small
Where was the too easy, Fox? Where was it too easy, huh?
which by chance or design man has inherited out of the dark mystery of time and space. Yet across an immense ethereal gulf, minds that are to our minds as ours are to beasts in the jungle. Intellect,
There is reason to be cautious.
synthetic, regarded as the envious eyes, slowly and surely through their plans against us. In the 39th year of the 20th century came the Great Dissolution. Near the end of October, business was better. War scare was over. All men were back at work. Sales were picking up. This particular evening, October 30th, Crosby Service estimated that 32 million people were listening in on radio. Maximum temperature 66, minimum 48. This weather report comes to you from the government weather. We take you now to the Meridian Room in the Hotel Park Plaza in downtown New York, where you will be entertained by the music of Raymond Raquello and his orchestra.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. From the Meridian Room in the Park Plaza Hotel in New York City, we bring you the music of Raymond Raquello and his orchestra. The touch of the Spanish, Raymond Raquello leads off with La Campesina. Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt our program of dance music to bring you a special bulletin from the
You load!
several explosions of incandescent gas occurring at regular intervals on the planet Mars. Suspected gas.
Not really thrilled about killing ants, but
Raymond Raquello playing for you in the Meridian Room of the Park Plaza Hotel situated in downtown New York.
poor bastards.
Though we may seem safe for the moment,
Sir, we are not safe, not even close.
Now a tune that never loses faith. The ever popular Saga. Raymond Raquello and his orchestra.
Oh, is that it? Just the whole time?
Ladies and gentlemen, following on the news
concerned
given in our
about
bulletin
this.
a moment ago, the Government Meteorological Bureau has requested the large observatories of the country to keep an astronomical watch on any further disturbances occurring on the planet Mars. Due to the unusual nature of this occurrence, we have arranged an interview with the noted astronomer Professor Pearson, who will give us his views on this event.
So for real, there's no,
We
like,
will take you to the Princeton Observatory at Princeton,
decent
New
loot
Jersey.
down here?
We return you until then the music of Raymond Raquello and his orchestra.
Did we miss a tunnel? Doesn't look like it.
We are ready now to take you to the
That's their
Princeton
egg clutch.
Observatory at Princeton, where Carl Phillips, our commentator, will interview Professor Richard Pearson, famous astronomer. We take you now to Princeton.
All right. I guess this was one of those. This is just a little anthill. No queen to speak of or anything like that, at least around here.
Standing in a large, semicircular room, pitch black except for an oblong slit in the ceiling. Through this opening, I could see a sprinkling of stars casting out a constant glow, mechanism of conduction. Ticking sound you hear, vibration of the clock. Professor Pearson stands directly above me on a small platform, very giant legs. I ask you to be patient, ladies and gentlemen, till the end of the rain may arise may not listen. Besides the secret watching the heavens, Professor Pearson may be interrupted by telephone or other communication. During this period, he is in constant touch with the astronomical centers of the world. Professor, may I see in our questions?
At any time,
Professor, would you please tell our radio audience exactly what you see as you observe the planet Mars through your telescope?
nothing unusual at the moment, Mr. Phillips. A red disk swimming in the blue sea. Transverse stripes across the disk. Quite distinct now because Mars happens to be at the point nearest the Earth in opposition, as we call it.
In your opinion, what do these transverse stripes signify, Professor?
Not for now, I can assure you, Mr. Phillips. Although, as we walk in the sector, those who imagine
Oh,
Mars
there's a
inhabited.
fucking overlord over there.
Stripes are merely the result of atmospheric conditions peculiar to the planet.
Then you're quite convinced as a scientist that living intelligence as we know it does not exist on Mars?
There's a chance against it or 1,000 to 1.
And yet, how do you account for these gas eruptions occurring on the surface of the planet at the rate of this?
Phillips, I cannot account for it.
So by the way, sir, for the benefit of our listeners, how far is Mars from the Earth?
Approximately 40 million miles.
Well, that seems a safe enough distance. Just a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Someone has just handed Professor Pearson a message. Why do you think this? Let me remind you that we are speaking to you from the observatory in Princeton, New Jersey, where we are interviewing the world-famous astronomer Professor Pearson. One moment. Please. Professor Pearson has passed me a message which he has just received. Professor, may I read the message to the listening audience?
Certainly.
Ladies and gentlemen, I shall read you a wire addressed to Professor Pearson from Dr. Gray of the Natural History Museum, New York. Quote, 9:15 p.m.
Come on,
Eastern
folks.
Standard Time. Seismograph registered shock of almost earthquake intensity occurring within a radius of 20 miles of Princeton. Please investigate. Signed Lloyd Gray, Chief of Astronomical Division. Unquote. Professor Pearson, would this occurrence possibly have something to do with the disturbances observed on the planet Mars?
Hardly. Probably a meteorite of size and its arrival.
Thank you, Professor. Ladies and gentlemen,
Seriously? You're the one fucking, like, launching cars into the fucking stratosphere. Thanks, bro. Got your super mutant master fucking taken out. I mean, it's no skin off my back, bro, but, you know, dang. He did.
Please.
I got you, man.
Someone. What?
About 30 yards.
What? Who? I need to. Oh.
Spectators now are slightly close to the object and might be up to the back. They're getting in front of my line of vision. Would you mind standing one side, please? While they're pushing the crowd back. Here's
So
Mr. Willman.
there's two shacks to check in.
Mr. Willman,
First.
please tell the radio audience as much as you remember of this rather unusual visitor that dropped in your backyard. Step closer, please. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Willman.
I was listening to the radio.
Closer, louder, please.
Pardon me?
Louder, please. Closer.
Yes. I was listening to the radio and kind of drowsy. The professor fellow was talking about Mars. I was half chosen, half...
Yes, Mr. Willman, and then what happened?
Well, as I was saying, I was listening to the radio, kind of halfway.
Yes, Mr. Willman, and then you saw something.
Not first off. I heard something.
And what did you hear?
Hissing sound like this.
God damn it.
Kind of like 4th of July rocket.
Yes, then what?
I turned my head out the window and would have sworn I was...
Yes?
Seen a kind of greenish streak and then zingo. Something smacked the ground. Knocked the
Numbers
clear out of my
today.
chair.
Well, were you frightened, Mr. Willman?
Well, I ain't quite sure. I reckon I was kind of riled.
Well, thank you, Mr. Willman. Thank you very much.
Yes, you want me to
No,
tell
that's
some
quite
more?
all right. That's plenty. Ladies and gentlemen, you've just heard Mr. Willman, owner of the farm where this thing has fallen. Trying to convey the atmosphere, the background of this fantastic scene. Hundreds of cars are parked in the field backwards and sweepers trying to rope off the roadway, leading into the farm, but it's no use. They're breaking right through. Cars' headlights throw an enormous spotlight on the pit where the object has buried. Now, some of the more
Lots of
daring
books.
souls now are venturing near the edge. Their silhouettes stand out against the metal sheen. One man wants to touch the thing. He's having an argument with the policeman. Now, the policeman wins. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there's something I haven't mentioned in all this excitement, but it's becoming more distinct. Perhaps you've caught it already on your radio. Listen, please. Do you hear it? The curious humming sound that seems to come from inside the object. I'll move the microphone nearer. Here. Now, we're not more than 25 feet away. Can you hear it now? Professor Pearson,
Yes,
can you tell us the meaning of that scraping noise inside the thing?
We must walk
possibly
softly.
the unequal cooling of its surface.
And carry a big stick.
What do you think? The metal casing is definitely extraterrestrial. Not found on this Earth. Friction with the Earth's atmosphere usually tears holes in the meteorite. This thing is full. You can see a splinter from space.
Something's happening. Ladies and gentlemen, it's terrific. This end of the thing is beginning to break off. The top is beginning to rotate like a screw, and the thing must be hollow. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the most terrifying thing I've ever witnessed. Wait a minute. Someone's calling someone or something. I see turning out of that black hole through the roof. The eyes, might be a face, might be almost the heavens. Something bringing out of the shadow like a gray snake. Now it's another one, and another one, and another one. They look like tentacles to me. I see the thing's body now. It's large. Large as a bear. Like
I think that's everything in this one.
ladies and gentlemen, this is strangled like a
Around Devil's Crossing.
Rising up now, and the car falls back, and ain't funny, but very serious for himself, like, can't find words. Well, I'll pull this microphone with me if they talk. I have to stop the description so I can take a new position. Hold on, will you please? I'll be right back in a minute.
We are bringing you an eyewitness account of what's happening on the Wilmot
There are
Farm,
times that
Groversville, New Jersey.
The primal part of me pulling me away.
We now return you to Carl Phillips at Groversville.
Ladies and gentlemen, my aunt. Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, here I am.
Dave's over!
Well, we're done.
You lose!
More state police have arrived and are drawing up the cordon in front of the pit. No need to push the car back now. They're willing to keep their distance. The captain's quarreling with someone. Can't quite see who. I believe it's Professor Pearson.
Dave's over!
Studying the object while the captain and two policemen advance with something in their hands. I'm paid now as the white actor.
I keep telling y'all motherfuckers about trying to come at me with them fucking rocket launchers.
Ladies and gentlemen, due to circumstances beyond our control, we are unable to continue the broadcast from Groversville. Evidently, there's some difficulty with our field transmission. However, we will return to that point at the earliest opportunity. In the meantime, we have a late bulletin from San California. California Astronomical Society expressed the opinion that the explosions on Mars are undoubtedly nothing more than severe volcanic disturbances on the surface of the planet. We continue now with our piano interlude.
Okay, so we got that. Silver Lining Drive-In.
That came in from Groversville by telephone. Just one moment, please. At least 40 people, including 6 state troopers, lie dead in the field east of the village of Groversville. Their bodies burned and distorted beyond all possible recognition. The next voice you hear will be that of Brigadier General Montgomery Smith, commander of the state militia at Trenton, New Jersey.
I have been requested by the governor of New Jersey to place the counties of Mercer and Middlesex as far west as Preston and east to Jamesburg under martial law. No one will be permitted to enter this area except by special pass issued by state or military authority.
Rognak here.
Militia are proceeding from Trenton to Groversville
Bottle caps.
and will aid in the
Just a couple.
evacuation of homes within the range of military operations.
There's a few.
You have just been listening to General Montgomery Smith, commanding the state militia at Trenton. In the meantime, further details of the catastrophe at Groversville are coming in. The strange creatures, after unleashing their deadly assault, fall back in their pit and made no attempt to prevent the efforts of the firemen to recover the bodies and extinguish the fire. The combined fire departments in Mercer County are...
Oh shit, it's a Voidaboid.
No more now!
Surprisingly tough.
Thank you, Professor Pearson. Ladies and gentlemen, here is a bulletin from Trenton. It is a brief statement informing us that the charred body of Carl Phillips has been identified in the Trenton hospital. Now here's another bulletin from Washington, D.C. The Office of the Director of the National Red Cross reports 10 units of Red Cross emergency workers have been assigned to the headquarters of the state militia, stationed outside of Grover's Mill, New Jersey. Here's a bulletin from State Police, Princeton Junction. The fires at Grover's Mill and vicinity are now under control. Scouts report all quiet in the pit, and there is no sign of life appearing from the mouth of the cylinder. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a special statement from Mr. Harry McDonald, Vice President in charge of operations.
We have received a request from the state militia of Trenton to place at their disposal our entire broadcasting facilities. In view of the gravity of the situation, believing that radio has the responsibility to serve the public interest at all times, we are turning over our facilities to the state militia at Trenton.
We take you now to the field headquarters of the
It's
state militia
amazing
near
that people
Grover's
trust
Mill,
you
New
enough
Jersey.
not to attack me.
This is Captain Lansing of the Signal Corps attached to the state militia, now engaged in military operations in the vicinity of Grover's Mill.
Can't see anything in dark anyway.
Certain individuals of unidentified nature are now under complete control. Cylindrical object lies in the pit directly below our position, surrounded on all sides by 8 battalion divisions. Without heavy field pieces, but adequately armed with rifles and machine guns. All cause for alarm, if cause ever existed, is now entirely unjustified. Things, whatever they are, do not even venture to poke their heads above the pit. See their hiding place plainly in the glare of the searchlight here. With all their reported resources, these creatures can scarcely stand up against heavy machine gun fire. Anyway, it's an interesting outing for the crew. I can make out their top uniforms crossing back and forth in front of the light. Looks almost like a real war. There appears to be some slight smoke. You ought to see some action soon. One of the companies is deploying on the left flank. A quick thrust is along the open. Wait a minute, I see something on top of the cylinder. No, it's nothing but a shadow. Now the troops are on the edge of the Wilmot Pond. 7,000 armed men closing in on an old metal tube. That's tough, rather. Well, wait, that wasn't a shadow. It's something moving. Solid metal, kind of a steel-like affair rising up on the cylinder. Going higher and higher. But it's standing on legs, actually rearing up on a sort of metal framework. Now it's reaching above the trees and the searchlights are on. Hold on.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have a great announcement.
Very nice.
Both the observations of spies and the evidence of our eyes lead to the inescapable
Very nice.
assumption that those strange beings who landed in the Jersey farmlands tonight are the vanguard of an invading army from the planet Earth. The battle which took place tonight at Grover Mill has ended one of the most rapid defeats ever suffered by an army in modern times. 7,000 men armed with rifles and machine guns pitched against the single fighting machine of the invaders from Mars. 120 known survivors. The rest strewn over the battle area from Grover's Mill to the plains.
Yeah, that's where I came.
Crushed and trampled to death under the metal feet of the monster. Or burned to cinders by its heat. The monster is now in control of the middle section of New Jersey, effectively cut the state to its center. Communication lines are down from Pennsylvania to the Atlantic Ocean. Railroad tracks are flown in service from New York to Philadelphia discontinued except routing some of the trains to Arlington and Phoenix. Highways to the north, south, and west are clogged with frantic human traffic. Police and army reserves are unable to control the mad traffic. I'm wondering the fugitives will have swung Philadelphia, Camden, and it is estimated to be twice the remaining population.
Though we may seem safe for the moment, it is fleeting.
This time we take you to Washington for a special broadcast on the national emergency. The Secretary of the Interior.
Citizens of the nation, I shall not try to conceal the gravity of the situation confronting the country, nor the concern of your government in protecting the lives and property of others. However, I press upon you, private citizens and public officials, all of you, the urgent need of calm and resourceful action. Fortunately, this formidable enemy is still confined to a comparatively our patient God, we must continue the performance of our duties, each and every one of us, so that we may confront this destructive adversary with a nation united, courageous, and consecrated to the preservation.
GNR, 3-Dog, all you need to know. Got lots of stuff going down in post-apocalyptia these days.
Serious speaking to Washington. The War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells, starring Orson Welles at the Mercury Theater on the Edge.
As I set down these notes on paper, I'm obsessed by the thought that I may be the last living man on Earth. I'm hiding in this empty house near Grover's Mill. A small island of daylight cut off by the black smoke spreads the world. All that happened before the arrival of these monstrous creatures in the world now seems part of another life. A life that has no continuity with the present. Furtive existence, the lonely derelict. Pencil these words on the back of some astronomical note setting signature. Richard Pearson. Look down at my blackened hand.
That is safety in mindfulness.
On the night of October 20th, glimpsed through his telescope an orange flash of light on a distant planet. My wife, my colleagues, two books, observatory, my world. Where are they? Did they ever exist? Am I Richard Pearson? Days. Do days exist without
Too easy.
tell myself I should preserve human history between the dark cover, little book that's meant to record the movement of the stars. Right, I've lived on the street. Find motive red in the kitchen. Orange, not too spoiled to swallow. Keep watching. Time to time I catch sight of a Martian above the black smoke. Smoke still holds the house in its black coil, but thanks to this hissing sound, and suddenly I see a Martian mounted on his machine, spraying the air with a jet of steam that dissipates the smoke. I watch in a corner as his huge metal legs they brush against the house. Exhausted by terror, I fall asleep. Morning. Sun feels delicious. Black clouds of gas lifted and scorched meadows north of the black snowstorm. I venture from the house and make my way to a road on traffic. In their wrecked car, baggage content.
Yeah.
Push on north. For some reason I feel safer trailing these monsters than running away from them. Come to a chest. Got my pockets. 2 days I wander in a vague northerly direction through a desolate world.
familiar in its contours, yet its building strangely dwarfed and leveled off. The giant had sliced off its highest towers with a capricious sweep of its head.
And speaking from the roof of Broadcasting Building, speaking from the roof of Broadcasting Building, New York City, the bells you hear are ringing to warn the people to evacuate the city as marching approach. Estimated in the last 2 hours, 3 million people have moved out along the road north. Hudson River pathway is still kept open for motor traffic. Boyd Bridges to Long Island hopelessly jammed. All communications with Jersey Shore closed 10 minutes ago. No more defense. Our army is wiped out. Artillery, Air Force, everything wiped out. Maybe the last broadcast. We'll stay here to the end. People are holding service here below us in the cathedral. Now I look down the harbor, all manner of boats, overloaded with fleeing population pulling out from the docks. Streets are all jammed. Noise crowds like New Year's Eve city. Wait a minute, five straight machines. The first one is crossing the river. I can see it here, wading the Hudson like a man wading through a brook.
Very good. Maintenance and evacuation where?
One outside of Buffalo, one
Oh, is that it?
Chicago. St. Louis.
Is there
Seem to be time and space. Now the first machine reaches the shore. He stands watching, looking over the city. Steel cowlish head is even
There would be
the
a-
skyscrapers.
switch
He waits for the others.
of some sort?
They rise like a line of new towers on the city's west side. Now they lift with their
see.
metal hands. This is the end now. Smoke comes out, black smoke drifting over the city. People in the streets see it now. Dropping in like rats. Now the smoke's spreading faster. It reaches Times Square. People are trying to run away from it, but it's no use. They're falling like flies. Now the smoke's crossing 6th Avenue. 5th Avenue. 100 yards away. It's 50 feet.
Maintenance and evacuation tunnel, which is a subterranean passage connecting the 3 main buildings.
QX2L calling CQ, New York. Isn't there anyone on the air? Isn't there anyone on the air? Isn't there anyone? QX2L.
You are listening to a CBS presentation of Orson Welles and the Mercury Theater on the Air in an original dramatization of The War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells. The performance will continue after a brief intermission. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Okay.
The War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells.
So
Starring Orson Welles and the Mercury Theater on the Air.
this is the maintenance tunnel, and there's no switch as far as I can hell? Oh no, it's right the fuck here.
As I set down these notes on paper, I'm obsessed by the thought that I may be the last living man on Earth. Just hiding in this empty house near Grover's Mill. Small island of daylight cut off by the black smoke that spreads the world. All that happened before the arrival of the creatures in the world. No continuity. Furtive existence, a lonely derelict. Pencil beat words on the back of some astronomical note-bearing signature. Richard Pearson. Look down at my blackened hand. Try to connect them with a professor who lives at Princeton and who on the night of October 20th glimpsed through his telescope an orange flash of light on a distant planet. My wife? Books. Laboratory? My world. Where are they? Did they ever exist? Am I Richard Pearson? What day is it? Do days exist without calendars? Does time pass when there are no human hands left to hold the clock?
Now try it!
Writing down my daily life, I tell myself I should... Martian above the black smoke. Smoke still holds the house in its black coil. Thankfully, big sound, and suddenly I see a Martian mounted on his machine, spraying the air with a jet of steam. One in the corner is a huge metal light. Cloud of gas is lifted. Bush, meadows, north of green black snow. For some reason I feel safer trailing these ones during the winter. And I keep a careful watch. That's Dean the Martian. If one of them machines zeroes the top of the trees, I'm ready to fling myself flat on the edge. Come to a chin. Guess that's the right. A small red squirrel in the beech tree. I stare at him in wonder. He stares back at me. I believe at that moment the animal and I shared the same emotion. Joy at finding another living being. Push on north. Past dead cows in the brackish field beyond the charred ruins of their
Oh,
ain't standing guard.
and there's the bouquet.
Stride the shallow perches of weathercock, the arrows. Points north. North. Next day I come to a city. City vaguely giant and sliced off its highest towers with a precious sweetness and
Where's that door that was still closed? Right here.
it was undemolished but humbled by some whim of the advancing Martian. Being watched, I caught sight of something crouching in a doorway. I was set for it. Rose up and
I'm here. I meant. Okay.
There's no food here. This is my country. Always send a cow down the river. There's only food for one. Which way you go?
I don't know. I guess I'm looking. People.
What's that? You hear something, Ben?
No. Good. Life.
Get to know the birds that shadow these days. Hey, we're in the open. Go, go, go. Daylight, you can't see. 5 days ago, a couple of them carried something big across the flat in the air. I think they're learning to fly.
That's all over with humanity. Stranger, it's still you and I. Two of us left.
Got themselves in trouble. They wrecked the greatest country in the world.
There is safety
Those green stars, they're probably falling somewhere every
in
night. They've only
mindfulness.
lost one machine.
Thank you. Whoever you are, thank. Look.
I was in the militia, National Guard. That wasn't any war. It wasn't any war between man and man.
Yes, we're each. What'll they do to us?
I thought it all out. Right now, we're caught in the miles. They got a crowd on the run. They won't keep on doing that. They'll begin catching us systematically, keeping the best, storing us in cages and things. They haven't begun on us yet. Not begun. All that's happened so far is because we don't have sense enough to keep quiet. Bothering them with
Arts and
guns that's
Athletics
knocking loose in
Hall.
our heads and rushing off the crowd. Instead of our rushing around blind, we gotta fix ourselves up according to the way things are now. Cities, nations, civilization, progress.
Yes, but if that's so, what is that mean?
There you are!
I got a plan. 3 men. We don't know enough. We gotta learn plenty before we got a chance. We're gonna all of it. Wild. That's what it is. That's why I watch it. Watch you. All those little office workers who used to live in these houses, they be no good. Run.
Put up a fight!
Lives secure and a little invested in case of accident. And I'm tremendous. Worried about the hereafter. The Martians, they'll be a godsend for those nice and roomy cages. Good food, careful breathing, no worries. Yeah, after a week or so chasing around the field on empty stomachs, they'll come and glad to.
Yeah. It was just yeah. Sometimes I feel like the named baseball bat was a part of a cut content.
Sentimental over the pet boy
1 second.
who grew up and had to be killed. Yeah. Some maybe they'll train to hunt us. Yes, they will. There's men who do it flat. Me, by
Meantime,
Oh.
you and I and others. Where are we to live when the Martians own the Earth?
We live underground. I've been thinking about the sewers. Under New York, there are miles and miles of them. The main ones, they're big enough for anybody.
What a random collection of shit.
There's
subways. Kill Steve. Got a bunch of strong men together. No weak. That's rubbish. Out.
And you, Nancy.
You can't.
Won't quarrel about that. Go on.
We gotta make safe places for us to stay in, see? Get all the books we can. Science books. That's where men like you come in. We raid the museums. We'll even spy on the Martians. You know, so much we have to learn before... Just imagine that. 4 or 5
Now try and hide from this!
Heat rays right and left. Not a Martian in them. Not a Martian in them, see? But men. Men.
Next time, put up a fight!
Your plan.
We don't know world.
I see.
Hey.
Not to your world. Fine, stranger. Well, I took off the artillery when I came at last to the hollow tunnel and entered that silent tube. Anxious to know the fate of the great city on the other side of the Hudson. Cautiously, I came out of the tunnel and made my way up Canal Street. Reached 14th Street there again. Black powder, several bodies, and evil. Stood alone.
Okay!
Caught sight of a lean dog running down 7th Avenue. Dark brown piece of his jaws. Packed starving marker.
Who's
Wide
next?
circle around me, though he feared I might move his breath. Walked up Broadway in the direction of that silent shop windows. Playing their mute wares in empty sidewalks. Past the Capitol Theater. Silent. Dark. Past the shooting gallery where a row of empty guns faced a rested line of wooden ducks. Near Columbus Circle. I noticed models of 1939 motor cars in the showroom facing empty streets. Over the top of the General Motors building, I watched a flock of black birds circling the sky. Hurried on. Suddenly, I caught sight of the hood of a Martian machine, standing somewhere in Central Park, gleaming in the late afternoon sun. No idea. I rushed recklessly across Columbus Circle and into the park. I climbed a small hill above the pond at 60th Street. From there, I could see, standing in a silent row along the mall, 19 of those great metal titans, their cowls empty, their steel arms hanging listlessly by their sides. I looked in vain for the monsters that inhabit those machines. Suddenly, my eyes were attracted to the immense flock of black birds that rested below me, that circled the ground. And there before my eyes, dark and silent, lay the Martians with the hungry birds pecking and tearing brown shreds of flesh. Their dead bodies. Later, when their bodies were examined in laboratories, we found that they were killed by putrefactive and disease bacteria against which their systems were unprepared. Plain, after all, man's defenses had failed. And the humblest thing that God has wisdom put upon the good. Before the cylinder fell, there was general persuasion that through all of the deep space, no life existed beyond the petty surface of a minute sphere. Now we see further. Dim and wonderful is the vision I've conjured up in my mind of life spreading slowly from this little seedbed of the solar system throughout the inanimate writing down this last chapter of the record, begun this far years. Enter the museum where the disassembled parts of a Martian machine are kept on public view. Strange when I recall the time when I first saw it. Bright, clean cut, hard, silent. Under the dawn of that last great day.
Damn, 5 stim packs.
This is Orson Welles, ladies and gentlemen. Out of character. That the War of the Worlds but as the holiday offering it was intended to be. Steal all your garden gates. By tomorrow night, we did the best next thing. We annihilated the world before your very ears and utterly destroyed the CBS. You will be relieved, I hope, to learn that we didn't mean it. Both institutions are still open for business. So goodbye, everybody, and remember, please, for the next day or so, the terrible lesson you learned tonight.
You have something to
No.
say?
The Vader of your living room is an inhabitant of the pumpkin patch, and if your doorbell rings and nobody's there, that was no Martian. It's Halloween.
Found you!
Next week we have a presentation of 3 famous short stories. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System. The Columbia Broadcasting System and affiliated stations present Orson Welles and the Mercury Theater on the Air in The War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells. Ladies and gentlemen, the director of the Mercury Theater and star of these broadcasts, Orson Welles.
We know now that in the early years of the 20th century, this world is being watched closely by intelligences greater than man, yet mortal as his own. We know now that as human beings busy themselves about their various concerns, they were scrutinized and studied, perhaps almost as narrowly as a man with a microscope might scrutinize the transient creatures that swarm and multiply in a drop of water. With infinite complacency, people went to and fro over the earth about their little affairs, serene in the assurance of their dominion over this small, spinning fragment of solar driftwood, which by chance or design, man has inherited out of the dark mystery of time and space. Yet across an immense ethereal gulf, minds that are to our minds, ours as the beast of the jungle, intellect, vast, cool and unsympathetic, regarded this earth with envious eyes, slowly and surely drew their plans against us. In the 39th year of the 20th century came the Great Dissolution. Near the end of October, business was headed.
That's where it came. Okay.
Four men were back at work. Sales were picking up. On this particular evening, October 30th, the Crosley service estimated that 32 million people were listening in on radio.
Not much change in temperature. A slight atmospheric disturbance of undetermined origin is reported over Nova Scotia, causing a low-pressure area to move down rather rapidly over the northeastern states, bringing a forecasted rain accompanied by winds of light gale force. Maximum temperature 66, minimum 48. This weather report comes to you from the government weather bureau. We take you now to the Meridian Room in the Hotel Park Plaza in downtown New York, where you will be entertained by the music of Raymond Raquello and his officers.
La Company. Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt our program of dance music to bring you a special bulletin from the Intercontinental Radio Bureau. At 20 minutes before 8 Central Time, Professor Farrell of the Mount Jennings Observatory, Chicago, Illinois, reports observing several explosions of incandescent gas occurring at regular intervals on the planet Mars. The spectroscope indicates the gas to be hydrogen and moving toward the Earth with enormous velocity. Professor Pearson of Princeton describes the phenomenon as, quote, like a
Game's over!
unquote. Situated in downtown New York.
Next time, put up a fight. Something.
Well,
And now a tune that never loses pace. The ever popular Stardust. Raymond Raquello and the Dorks. Ladies and gentlemen, following on the news given in our bulletin a moment ago, the Government Meteorological Bureau has requested the large observatories of the
Hello,
country
cousin.
to keep an astronomical watch on any further disturbances occurring on the planet Mars. Due to the unusual nature of this occurrence, we have arranged an interview with a noted astronomer, Professor Pearson, who will give us his views on this event. In a few moments, we will take you to the Princeton Observatory at Princeton, New Jersey. We return you until then with the music of Raymond Raquello and his orchestra. We are ready now to take you to the Princeton Observatory at Princeton, where Carl Phillips, our commentator, will interview Professor Richard Pearson, famous astronomer. We take you now to Princeton, New Jersey.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Carl Phillips speaking to you from the observatory at Princeton. Standing in a large semicircular room, pitch black except for an oblong slit in the ceiling. Through this opening, I can see a twinkling star that casts a kind of frosty glow against the mechanism of the huge tunnel. Ticking sounds you hear, vibrations hot. Professor Pearson stands directly above me on a small platform, peering through this giant lens. I ask you to be patient, ladies and gentlemen. During any delay that may arise during our interview. Besides the secret blocks of heavens, Professor Pearson may be interrupted by telephone or other communication. During this period, he is in constant touch with the astronomical centers of the world. Professor, may I begin our questions? Professor, would you please tell our radio audience exactly what you see as you observe the planet Mars through your telescope?
Nothing unusual at the moment, Mr. Phillips. A red disk swimming in the blue sea. Transverse stripes across the disk. Quite distinct now because Mars happens to be at the point nearest the Earth, in opposition, as we call it.
In your opinion, what do these transverse stripes signify, Professor?
Not canals, I can assure you, Mr. Phillips. Although that's a popular conjecture, those who imagine Mars to be inhabited. From a scientific viewpoint, the stripes are merely the result of atmospheric conditions peculiar to the planet.
Then you're quite convinced, as a scientist, that living intelligence as we know it does not exist on Mars?
There's a chance against it or 1,000 to 1.
And yet, how do you account for these gas eruptions occurring on the surface of the planet at regular intervals?
Phillips, I cannot account for it.
Well, by the way, sir, for the benefit of our listeners, how far is Mars from the Earth?
Approximately 40 million miles.
Well, that seems a safe enough distance. Just a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Someone has just handed Professor Pearson a message. While he reads it, let me remind you that we are speaking to you from the observatory in Princeton, New Jersey, where we are interviewing the world-famous astronomer, Professor Pearson. moment, please. Professor Pearson has passed me a message that you have just received. Professor, may I read the message to the listening audience?
Hello? Someone there?
Through a wire addressed to Professor Pearson from Dr. J of the Natural History Museum, New York. Quote, 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Seismograph registers shock of almost earthquake intensity occurring with...
Put up a fight!
Time clearly is a coincidence. However, we shall conduct a search as soon as daylight.
How do you? There you are! You! Close! I hear something. There you are!
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the latest bulletin from the Intercontinental Radio News. Toronto, Canada. Professor Morse of McMillan University reports observing a total of 3 explosions on the planet Mars between the hours of 7:45 p.m. and 9:20 p.m. Eastern Hotel Martinet in Brooklyn, where Bobby Millett and his orchestra are offering a program of dance music. We take you now to Grover's Mill, New Jersey.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Carl Phillips again, out at the Wilmot Farm, Grover's Mill, New Jersey. Professor Pearson and myself made the 11 miles of section in Texas. Well, I hardly know where to begin. Thankfully, your word pictures the strange scene before my eyes, but something out of a modern Arabian night. Well, I just got here. I hadn't had a chance to look around yet.
Yep, that's that one.
Yes, I guess that's the thing directly in front of me. Half buried in a vast pit. But some terrific force surrounding it. It's not going to play down, but I can see the object itself doesn't look very much like a meteor. At least not the meteors I've seen. It looks more like a huge cylinder. Has the diameter of, what would you say, Professor Pearson?
What's that?
What would you say, what's the diameter of the...
About 30 yards.
About 30 yards. The metal on the sheet is, well, I've never seen anything like it. The color is sort of yellowish white. It's curious. Now, I'm pressing close to the object in spite of the efforts of the police to keep it back. Would you mind standing one side, please? While the pushing the crowd back. Here's Mr. Wilmot, owner of the barn. He may have some interesting facts to add. Mr. Wilmot, would you please tell the radio audience as much as you remember of this rather unusual visitor that dropped in your backyard? Step closer, please. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Wilmot.
I was listening to the radio.
Closer, louder, please.
Pardon me?
Louder, please.
Yes. I was listening to the radio and kind of drowsy. The professor fellow was talking about Mars, so I was half dozing.
Yes, Mr. Wilmot, and then what happened?
Well, as I was saying, I was listening to the radio, kind of halfway.
There you are!
Not first call.
Well, were you quite
Fucking bullet sponges.
Listen, please. Do you hear it? The curious humming sound seems to come from inside the object. I'll move the microphone nearer. Here. Now, we're not more than 25 feet away. Can you hear it now? Professor Pearson,
Yes,
can you tell us the meaning of that scraping noise inside the thing?
possibly the unequal cooling of its surface.
I say, do you still think it's a meteor, Professor?
What do you think? The metal casing is definitely extraterrestrial. Not found on this Earth. Friction with the Earth's atmosphere usually tears holes in a meteorite. This thing is smooth and you can see its limits.
Just a minute. Something's happening. Ladies and gentlemen, this is terrific. This end of the thing is beginning to flake off. The top is beginning to rotate like a screw in the thing will be hollow. V-shape with saliva dripping from its rimless lips. It seemed to, quivers, pulsate, monster or whatever, it hardly moves. Seems weighed down by possibly gravity or something. The thing's rising up now, and the crowd falls back. It seems plenty. Well, hold the microphone with me as I talk. I'll have to stop the description until I can take a new position. Hold on, back now. They're willing to keep their distance. The captain's conferring with someone. Can't quite see who. Ah, yes, I believe it's Professor Pearson. Yes, it is. Now they've parted, and the professor moves around one side, studying the object, while the captain and two policemen advance with something in their hands. I can see it now. It's a white handkerchief tied to a pole. Flag of truce. Those creatures know what that means, what anything means. Wait a minute, something's happening. Humped shape is rising out of the pit. They make out a small beam of light against a mirror. There's a jet of flame springing from the mirror that leaps right at the advancing men. It strikes them head on. Oh, Lord, they're turning into flames. Oh, the whole field's caught up by the woods, the barns, the gas tanks, and the automobiles spreading everywhere. Coming this way now, about 20 yards to my right.
Ladies and gentlemen, due to circumstances beyond our control, we are unable to continue the broadcast from Grover's Mill. Evidently, there's some difficulty with our field transmission. However, we will return to that point at the earliest opportunity. In the meantime, we have a late bulletin from San Diego, California. Professor Indlekoffer, speaking at a dinner of the California Astronomical Society, expressed the opinion that the explosions on Mars are undoubtedly nothing more than severe volcanic disturbances on the surface of the planet. We continue now with our piano interlude.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've just been handed a message that came in from Grover's Mill by telephone. Just one moment, please. At least 40 people, including 6 state troopers, lie dead in village of Grover's Mill, their bodies burned and distorted beyond all possible recognition. The next voice you hear will be that of Brigadier General Montgomery.
I win again!
New Jersey.
I have been requested by the governor of New Jersey to place the counties of Mercer and Middlesex as far west as Princeton and east to Jamesburg under martial law. No one will be permitted to enter this area except by special pass issued by state or military authorities. 4 companies of state militia are proceeding from Trenton to Grover's Mill and will aid in the evacuation of homes within the range of military operations. Thank you.
You have just been listening to General Montgomery Smith, commanding the state militia at Trenton. In the meantime, further details of the catastrophe at Grover's Mill are coming in. Strange creatures, after unleashing their deadly assault, fall back in their pit and made no attempt to prevent the efforts of the firemen to recover the bodies and extinguish the fire. The combined fire departments of Mercer County are fighting the flames which menace the entire countryside. We have been unable to establish any contact with our mobile unit at Grover's Mill, but we hope to be able to return you there at the earliest possible moment. In the meantime, we take you to... Just one moment, please. Ladies and gentlemen, I have just been informed that we have finally established communication with an eyewitness of the tragedy. Professor Pearson has been located at a farmhouse near Grover's Mill, where he has established an emergency observation post. As a scientist, he will give you his explanation of the calamity. The next voice you hear will be that of Professor Pearson, brought to you by direct wire. Professor Pearson.
Of the creatures in the rocket cylinder in Grover's Mill, I can give you no authoritative information either as to their nature, their origin, or their purposes here on Earth. Of their destructive instrument, I might venture some conjectural explanation. For want of a better term, I shall refer to the mysterious weapon as the heat ray. No evidence these creatures have scientific knowledge far in advance of our own. It's my guess that in some way they are able to generate an intense heat in a chamber of practically absolute non-conductivity. This intense heat they project in a parallel beam against any object they choose by means of a polished parabolic mirror of unknown composition. Much as the mirror of a lighthouse projects the beam of
Oh,
light.
god damn it.
That is my conjecture of the origin of the heat ray.
I didn't even motherfucking
Thank you, Professor
mean to
Pearson.
do that shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the bulletin. Trenton. It is a brief statement of...
Shit.
informing us that the charred body of Carl Phillips has been identified in the Trenton hospital. Now here's another bulletin from Washington, D.C. The Office of the Director of the National Red Cross reports 10 units of Red Cross emergency workers have been assigned to the headquarters of the state militia, stationed outside of Grover's Mill, New Jersey. Here's a bulletin from State Police, Princeton Junction. The fire that
I would be much happier if I fucking saw a safe here, because at least I know it was just attached to a safe, but this might be...
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a special statement from Mr. Harry McDonald, Vice President.
Yeah. Yeah, because
I can see if the object itself doesn't look very much like a meteor. At least not the meteors I've seen. It looks more like a cylinder. Has the diameter of, what would you say, Professor Pearson? What would you say, what's the diameter of the...
About 30 yards.
About 30 yards. The metal on the sheath is, well, I've never seen anything like it. The color is sort of yellowish white. Curious spectators now are pressing close to the object in spite of the efforts of the police to keep them back. Getting in front of my line of vision. Would you mind standing one side, please? While the police pushing the crowd back. Here in the room, at the corner of the pond.
Might have just set my back, myself back.
Would you tell the radio audience as much as you remember of this
Yeah.
unusual business
I'd-
that dropped in your backyard?
I have to always make sure that I fucking don't do that shit. We've got to explore all of this again because
listening to the radio and kind of drowsy.
I want that lure.
The fellow was talking about Mars. So I was half
And that was my stupid mistake.
But Dr. Kennedy was listening to the radio, kind of halfway.
Yes, Miss Willis. And then you saw it.
Not first off. I heard something.
And what did you hear?
A hissing sound like this. Kind of like a 4th of July rocket.
Yes, then what?
I turned my head out the window and could have sworn I was asleep and dreaming.
Yes?
Seen a kind of greenish streak and then bingo. Something back to ground. Got me
There you are!
Were you frightened?
Well, I'm not sure. Reckon I was kind of riled.
Thank you. Only the farm where this thing has fallen. I wish I could convey the atmosphere.
Oh, I might die.
They're breaking right through. Hard headlights throw an enormous spotlight on the pit where the object has buried. Now, some of the more daring stories.
Those tri-beam lasers are no joke.
Silhouettes stand out against the metal. Now, already on your radio. Listen, please.
I'm gonna eat
Oh shit.
Now, we're not more than 25 feet away. Can you hear it now? Professor Pearson,
Yes?
can you tell us the meaning of that scraping noise inside the thing?
Possibly the unequal cooling of its surface.
I say, do you still think it's a meteor, Professor?
Yeah, I absolutely detest when I fix a weapon with a unique weapon. That's the biggest fucking waste ever. Shit.
Just a minute. Something's happening. Ladies and gentlemen, this is terrific. This end of the thing is beginning to flake off. Top is beginning to rotate like a screw, and the thing must be hollow. Move it! Keep those men back! Keep those idiots back! Ladies and gentlemen, this is the most terrifying thing I've ever witnessed. Wait a minute. Someone's calling someone or something. I see turning out of that black hole through luminous disc. The eyes, it might be a face, it might be all the things. But heavens, something wriggling out of the shadow like a great snake. Now it's another one, and another one, and another one. They look like tentacles to me. I can see the thing's body now. It's large as a bear. Glistening like wet leather, but it's fake. Ladies and gentlemen, it's indescribable. I can hardly force myself to keep looking at it. It's awful. Its eyes are black, gleam like a serpent in the mountain. That's kind of V-shape with the light dripping from its rimless lips and seems those quivered pulsates. Monster, whatever it is, seems weighed down by possibly gravity or something. The thing's... Take a new position. Hold on, will you please? I'll be right back in a minute.
Careful.
We are bringing you an eyewitness account of what's happening on the Wilmuth Farm, Groversville, New Jersey. We now return you to Carl Phillips at Groversville.
Now try and hide from this! Now try and hide! I'm gonna eat your house! When you're dead, human!
I'll give you every detail as well as...
Close!
Police arrived and drawing up a cordon in front of the pit. About 30 of them. No need. Willing to keep their distance. Professor moves around one side, studying the object while the captain and two policemen advance with something in their hands. I can see it now. It's a white handkerchief tied to a pole. Flag of truce. Those creatures know what that means, what anything means. Something's happening. Some shape is rising out of the pit. I can make out a small beam of light against a mirror. What's that? The jet of flame springing from the mirror and it leaps right at the advancing men. It strikes them head on. Lord, they're turning into flames. By the wood, by the gas tanks and the automobile, spreading everywhere. Coming this way now, about 20 yards to my right.
Ladies and gentlemen, due to circumstances beyond our control, we are unable to continue the broadcast from Grover's Mill. Evidently, there's some difficulty with our field transmission. However, we will return to that point at the earliest opportunity. In the meantime, we have a late bulletin from San Diego, California. Professor Endelsdorfer speaking at a dinner of the California Astronomical Society.
Alright, let's try not to fuck up this
The
time.
explosions on Mars are undoubtedly nothing more than severe volcanic disturbances on the surface of the planet. We continue now with our piano interval.
That's all that was. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've just been handed a message that came in from Grover's Mill by telephone. Just one moment, please. At least 40 people, including 6 state troopers, lie dead in the field east of the village of Grover's Mill. Their bodies burned and distorted beyond all possible recognition. The next voice you hear will be that of Brigadier General Montgomery Smith, commander of the state militia at Trenton, New Jersey.
I have been requested by the governor of New Jersey to place the counties of Mercer and Middlesex as far west as Princeton and east to Jamesburg under martial law. No one will be permitted to enter this area except by special pass issued by a state or military authority. 4 companies of state militia are proceeding from Trenton to Grover's Mill and will aid in the evacuation of homes within the range of military operations. Thank you.
You have just been listening to General Montgomery Smith, commanding the state militia at Trenton. In the meantime, further details of the catastrophe at Grover's Mill are coming in. The strange creatures, after unleashing their deadly assault, crawled back in their pit and made no attempt to prevent the efforts of the firemen to recover the bodies and extinguish the fire. The combined fire departments of Mercer County are fighting the flames which menace the entire countryside. We have been unable to establish any contact.
Yeah, it's not all that bad.
But we hope to be able to return at the earliest possible moment. In the meantime, we take you to... Just one moment, please. Ladies and gentlemen, I have just been informed that we have finally established communication with an eyewitness of the tragedy. Professor Pearson has been located at a farmhouse near Grover's Mill.
It sucks that it just opened up a fucking, it was just for the Protectron, but...
Careful! Will give you his explanation of the calamity. The next voice you hear will be that of Professor Pearson, brought to you by direct wire. Professor Pearson.
Of the creatures in the rocket cylinder at Grover's Mill, I can give you no authoritative information either as to their nature, their origin, or their purpose.
No, student. 10 demerits. Back to class with you, rapscallion.
The heat ray. No evidence these creatures have scientific knowledge far in advance of our own. It's my guess that in some way they are able to generate an intense heat in a chamber practically absolute non-conductivity.
Not the best
This
pour,
intense
but I
heat
like
they
it.
project in a parallel beam against any object they choose by means of a polished parabolic mirror of unknown composition. Much as the mirror of a lighthouse projects a beam of light.
Yeah, a little bit.
That is my conjecture of the origin of the heat ray.
Thank you, Professor Pearson. Ladies and gentlemen, here is a bulletin from Trenton. It is a brief statement informing us that the charred body of Carl...
That reminds me, we are getting close to 30, aren't we?
Now here's another bulletin from Washington, D.C. The office of the director of the National Red Cross reports 10 units of Red Cross emergency workers have been assigned to the headquarters of the state militia, stationed outside of Grover's Mill, New Jersey. Here's a bulletin from State Police, Princeton Junction. The fires at Grover's Mill and vicinity are now under control. Scouts report all quiet in the pit, and there is no sign of life appearing from the mouth of the cylinder. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a special statement from Mr. Harry McDonald, Vice President in charge of operations.
We have received a request from the state militia at Trenton to place at their disposal our entire broadcasting facility.
he run? He ran. Motherfucking super mutant overlord fucking ran.
See something on top of the cylinder. No, it's nothing but a shadow. Now the troops are on the edge of the room of the farm. 7,000 armed men closing in on an old metal tube. A tub, rather. Well, wait, that wasn't a shadow. It's something moving. Solid metal, kind of a shield-like affair rising up out of the cylinder. Going higher and higher. But
It's amazing.
It's standing on
that
legs.
people trust me
Actually rearing up on a
not to
fundamental
attack
framework.
Ah, fuck.
Move along.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have a grave announcement to make.
On,
Incredible
please.
team, both the observations of science and the evidence of our eyes lead to the inescapable assumption that those strange beings who landed in the Jersey farmlands tonight are the vanguard of an invading army from the planet Mars. The battle that took place tonight at Grover Hill has ended in one of the most startling defeats ever suffered by an army in modern times. 7,000 men armed with rifles and machine guns.
We should be
against the
mindful.
fighting machine of the invaders from Mars. 120 known survivors. The rest strewn over the battle area of Grover Hills with Plainsboro, crushed and trampled to death under the metal feet of the monster, burned to cinders by its heat. The monster is now in control of the middle section of New Jersey, effectively cut the state from the center. Communication lines are down from Pennsylvania to the Atlantic Ocean. Railroad tracks are torn and service from New York to Philadelphia discontinued except routing some of the trains to the balance of the Phoenix. Highways to the north, south, and west are clogged.
He was just sitting on the fucking. Oh, both of them were. I got both of them. That's interesting.
Is estimated to be twice their normal population. Hardcore prevails throughout New Jersey and eastern Pennsylvania. This time we take you to Washington for a special broadcast on the national emergency. Secretary of the Interior.
Citizens of the nation, I shall not try to conceal the gravity of the situation confronting the country, nor the concern of your government in protecting the lives and property of its citizens. However, I wish to impress upon you, private citizens and public officials,
Fuck.
all of you, the urgent need of calm and resourceful action.
There we go.
This formidable enemy
Ain't even
is
worth
still
the fucking shit.
confined to a comparatively small area. And we will place our faith in the military forces to keep them there.
Okay.
In the meantime, placing our faith in God, we must continue the performance of our duties, each and every one of us, so that we may confront this destructive adversary with a nation united, courageous, and consecrated to the preservation of human supremacy on this earth. I thank you.
You have just heard the Secretary of the Interior speaking from Washington. The War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells, starring Orson Welles and the Mercury Theater on the air.
I think that's everywhere.
As I set down these notes on paper, I'm obsessed by the thought that I may be the last living man on Earth. I've been hiding in this empty house near Grover's Hill. Small island of daylight set off by the black smoke of reservoir.
Move along, please.
All that happened before the arrival of these monstrous creatures in the world now seems part of another life. Life has no continuity to the present. Furtive existence of a lonely derelict. Pencils, these words on the back of some astronomical notes bearing signatures. Richard Pierce. Look down at my blackened hand. Try to connect them with a professor who lives at Princeton and
Wow. Yeah, he did. He fucking hightailed it, bro. Like, I didn't even hesitate. And I've never seen an Overlord run like that. That was crazy.
Observatory? My world. Where are they? Did they ever exist?
Here. Let me see how long.
Am I
it is.
Richard
2.5.
Two days exist with our calendars. There's time past when there are no human hands left to watch the clock. Writing down my daily life, I tell
All right. I got to go do some shopping. I got to get a couple of things. If I don't end up doing anything extracurricular today, I will be back later on. But it has hit about 2.5 hours. My shoulders are starting to complain a little bit, so I'm going to go and move around.
Suddenly I see a Martian mounted on his machine, spraying the air with a jet of steam.
But that was just Roosevelt Academy. That was 2 hours. Some of it was a little bullshit, like whatnot. But like that's 3 buildings that we had to go and rummage through. I got a lot of stuff. I mean, and we picked up a new knife today. We don't use melee weapons, but
push on north. For some reason I feel safer trailing these running away.
Let's see, Occam's razor. Let's see.
I've seen the Martian speed. It's one of their machines peer over the top of the trees. I'm ready to fling myself flat on the earth. Come to a chestnut. Yes, that's all right. Fill my pocket. 2 days I wander in a vague northerly direction through a desolate world. Finally I noticed a living creature. A small red squirrel in beach tree.
Occam's razor.
He stares back at me. I believe at that moment the animal and I shared the same emotion. Joy of finding another living.
Commander Japsko's personal weapon, Occam's razor, is stronger than the basic combat knife in raw damage by a total of 3 points. It is aesthetically identical. Occam's razor can successfully strike about 1,200 times from full condition before breaking. And
next day I come from city. City vaguely familiar in its contours, yet its buildings.
there are a couple of variants. Stab Happy shares all the same stats with Occam's razor, except it deals an additional 50% bonus damage to limbs. There's a trench knife.
I'm speaking from the roof of broadcasting building. I'm speaking from the roof of broadcasting building.
Critical damage is 30.
Here are ringing to warn people to evacuate the city as Martians approach. Estimated in the last 2 hours, 3 million people have moved out along the road. Gone.
Note, melee damage is doubled at VATS.
Motor traffic. Boyd bridges to Long Island, hopelessly jammed.
Okay.
All communication with Jersey Shore closed 10 minutes ago. No more defenses. Our army wiped out. Artillery, Air Force, everything wiped out. This may be the...
It has a DPS of like 30 to 46.5. It's not bad for a 9.
People are holding service here below us. The people. Look down the harbor.
Oh man.
All our boats. Overloaded with clean.
I picked up a lot of books today.
Streets are all jammed. Noise and crowds.
A lot of ammo.
New Year's Eve in the city. Wait a minute. The enemy's now in sight above the Palisades. Five great machines. First one is crossing the river. I can see it from here, waiting
Oh, they're my enemy.
Like a man waiting
Where are my enemy? Where?
a bulletin is handed me. Martian cylinders are falling all over the country.
Now try and hide
Outside
from
of
this!
Buffalo, one in Chicago,
Now you want...
St. Louis. Seem to be tired.
Trying to motherfucking hide from me and shit.
Feels polished head is even with the skyscrapers. He waits for the others. Rise like a line of new cars.
Want something?
Mighty fine thing you did for this town.
Smoke comes out, black smoke. People in the streets here now. They're running toward the East River, thousands of them. Dropping in like rats. Now the smoke's spreading faster. It's reached Times Square. People are trying to run.
Would they have enough content to be all the way up to 100?
Now the smoke's crossing 6th Avenue.
I wouldn't mind, good remasters are, you know what I'm saying?
100 yards away.
Have a good day, Merlin. Go get you some green. I'll see you later. Like I said, if I don't do anything extracurricular, then I'll see you a little bit later. But good luck on your mission. I gotta go get some wax too, myself. That's one of the reasons I'm going out a little bit. So, let's go and check in.
Hello.
Yeah.
If you need to buy something, Moira up in Craterside Supply can help you.
Yeah.
Watch out though.
Good.
She's different.
Can I just
borrow the torch?
I mean, can I get it
You want to take it?
Yeah.
Anyone on the air?
Alright, let me
Yes.
go.
Anyone? Who else?
Look at the beautiful city of Megaton. At night.
While listening to a CBS presentation of Orson Welles and Mercury Theatre on the Air, an original dramatization of The War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells.
Good vantage point.
Are you like
This is the
straight?
Columbia Broadcasting
Yeah, but it's okay.
Is anybody watching?
Yeah.
How many viewers we got?
Theatre on the Air.
I can't tell.
What's up, folks?
They wander in and out, and I can't see YouTube's metrics, but people come in and out all the time. I get good numbers these days. I've been playing for like 2 hours. I'm about to jump off so I can go do some shopping. No, that bothers home. Yeah, I gotta get new bed set, some pillows, things like that. Some wax. I'm gonna get some. I'm gonna stop by work. That's let's go.
Mighty fine thing you did for this town.
Yeah, you know what. There we go. Now we can see this. Really, I just want to see the fireballs coming out of the fucking jet.
Hey, friend.
Look at that sky. You can see the birds and everything.
Am I rich? Yes. But days. Days exist without calendars. There's time passed when there are no human hands resting.
You were in the pool earlier.
Careful.
How was it?
Hmm?
I gotta dig out my sugar throat.
There are times that the primal part pulling me away.
Got that. All right. You know, it would be nice if they added a balcony to the player home. I mean, like an upstairs balcony, like on your roof or something.
And I keep careful watch. That's been the Martian. One of them
If it was me, my player home would have been like
How may I serve you, master?
somewhere where I can see, where I have like the best vantage point in the game. You know, or you know, in the city. Although that's not bad, right here. It's not a bad vantage point.
2 days I wander in a
You get the
vague northern
moon.
direction through a desolate world. Finally, I noticed a living creature.
There we go.
A small red squirrel in beach green.
It's actually not bad.
He stares back at me. I believe
Though we
at
may
that
seem
moment the
same
animal and I shared the same
It's
emotion.
fleeting.
Joy at finding another living being. Push on north. Find dead cows in a brackish field beyond the charred ruins of a dairy and silo. Paint standing guard over the wasteland like a lighthouse. Deserted by the sea. Stride the silo, put it on the house. Points north. North.
I am nothing if not a creature of habit.
City.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen. That's it for me today. I will see you possibly later tonight. But who knows? I'm gonna go and do some adulting. So be safe, be happy, be healthy. I love you all. Like, subscribe, share, follow. Let your friends know. If they like Fallout, show them show them my playlist. I've got a lot there. You know what? Share the word, man. I always like new friends. The more the merrier. And the more folks we can get in here, the more time I can spend
I hope things are
here
going well for you today, sir.
playing games for your satisfaction. Many different games. But it does take time to go through games. Whatever they are. And most of the time I like to play when you guys are around so that we can enjoy it together. But from me and Fox, have a great day. I'll see you again sometime. Tonight, tomorrow, whatever. But I will see you. I hope you have a good